Hi guys, welcome to Pishi Zone, a place where we get to hang out and do some really amazing things in the kitchen. On this special Mashujaa Day, we'll be doing something pretty simple, and that's pilau. So this is what we need. It's not that complicated, so I've made it very, very simple. So this is what you're going to need. You need cooking oil, you need garlic, you need tomato paste, you need salt, you need pilau masala, you need beef, you need onions, potatoes, and of course the rice. So this is the thing, we are doing half a kg of rice. So this is what happens. If you're doing half a kg of rice, it pairs very well with half a kg of meat and half a kg of potatoes. And then you can do about 6 cloves of garlic. You can do the oil, you don't necessarily have to measure it. You can just make sure it's just about enough to cover the onions. And then about a tablespoon or just slightly less of salt. This is a tablespoon of tomato paste and a tablespoon of pilau masala. But if you're using my brand, which is stronger than anything on the market right now, make sure you use about 3/4 or it's gonna get overwhelming. If you do 2 cups of rice, because this is actually 2 cups, you make sure you do 4 cups of water. The ratio should be 1:2 so that your pilau can come out very, very awesome. Before I add the onions, guys, this is what I need to show you. If you need to get this cut of onions, there's a quick tip I'm going to teach you. So this is what you do. You get a full onion, you half it, see? But instead of cutting the way guys normally do this way, I need you to turn it and cut from this side. See? This way, you end up with this. So if you're making something like kachumbari, you're frying your beef and you want your onions to be seen, this is what you need to do. See how they come out? Especially for biryani, this really, really looks good. Don't to overheat the oil because then the onions are going to burn faster than they should. And we get cooking the onion. The idea is to cook the onions halfway and then add the garlic. You see it's already minced. That means it cooks faster. So don't add the garlic at the beginning if actually you've just minced it. So wait until the onions are almost done, then add the garlic. So, oh, wait a minute. If you're looking at this kitchen and think it's amazing and you'd want such a kitchen, all you have to do is call Pneumatic. I think you can see that. I'll show the number once I'm done. So just call them. They do these really, really amazing kitchen installations at a very affordable fee. So give them a call. Say Mama Kebobo sent you so you can get a discount. But ultimately, you get to enjoy this kitchen experience. Meanwhile, let's wait for the onions to cook and then we'll be right back. I hope you can see my onions at this point. They've been cooking for about 4-5 minutes, say, tops. So they are soft now. They are almost done. You can even see some of them have started to brown. Kidogo browning here and there. So now you can add in the garlic. You see, it's me. So it's gonna cook in like about a minute or 2. So in goes my garlic. Koroga, koroga. Then now give it time to cook. So if you need oil at this point, you can add some more. But just turns out I don't need. You can look at cooking here and see that I don't need more oil. It's just enough to cook my onions, and that's exactly what you need. So let's give this a minute or 2. Cook, and then we move to the next stage. This is how you expect your kitungu to look like. I hope you can see it very clearly. Those guys that say it has to almost burn, I don't understand what they're saying. All I know is your kitungu should be golden brown. See what I'm talking about? So the next thing you're going to do here is add the nyama. In goes the meat. Look at that kitungu, it's not burnt. It's just a deeper brown color. Then now in goes our nyama. And then mix. At this point, what we are doing is getting the nyama to have that fried flavor. Oh, did I mention the nyama? When I was boiling the nyama, I added garlic and a bit of the pilau masala because you don't want to have pilau that is really nice, but then every time you bite into the meat, you just taste a bland meat. So you want to season it with salt, a bit of garlic, and a bit of the pilau masala, so you can have one harmonious flavor among all the components. So let's mix this. And once it's very well mixed and the nyama has gotten that fried kitungu flavor, the next thing you're going to do is add our potatoes. So I understand most of you don't add potatoes in your pilau, but I do, and most people from the coast do. What the potatoes do is add volume. So pilau that would have been served to say 4 people ends up being served to 6. So you need the volume and also of course the flavor. So add in the potatoes, mix well. Then at this point, you cover this, let the potatoes steam a little bit, say 2 to 3 minutes, until you start feeling like now it's dried up and it's starting to almost stick to the bottom. It's been like a minute and a half, and I need to just get a look at what's going on inside here. And here it is. The first thing I'm going to do is stir, just to make sure nothing is sticking to the bottom. And then here's something else. I think I can teach you 1 or 2 things about how to check the progress of how far the potatoes have cooked. So I hope you can get a close up on this one. Let me try another one. So here's the thing about potatoes and fish. They can both tell you how far they've cooked. Like for example, these, I don't know how closely you can see this, but the potato has cooked up to this point. It loses the color from a blocked, almost whitish color to a transparent, sort of see-through color. See, from this point, this way, you can see it's almost clear, but then there's still a bit of whitish in there. Like, let's look at another one. See, again, same thing. It has cooked all the way outwards, and then there's still a block of, that part that is not cooked. So what you're going to do, I'm going to add a little bit of water, just kidogo tu, like a tablespoon or 2 or 3, say 3. So what we are doing at this point is giving the potatoes a head start. This is what happens. You cook the potatoes straight without letting them cook a little bit, and they end up not being cooked, or then you cook them a lot and then they end up overly cooked. So what we're going to do is give it a head start for about maybe 3 minutes, and then when we look at it, we'll just be left with just a small patch at the middle that is not cooked. At that point, then you're ready now to add your water and then your rice, because the minute the rice comes in, all the energy goes to cooking the rice, and then your potatoes get very, very minimal attention. So you need to make sure that kidogo attention they're getting will get them properly done at the end of the day. So 2 minutes for the potatoes to get that good cook, that level of cooking, and then we'll now go ahead and add our spices. So let's have a look at the potatoes. I'm trying to get a formula where we can have just perfectly done potatoes, and here we are. So looking at this potato, there is a very small patch. Let me look at one that can show us clearly what's not done, because this looks pretty well done. Great, like this one. This is only the middle part that is just a bit whitish. The rest looks very properly done, looks a bit clear. That tells you it's done outwardly. The outside of the potato is done. It just needs now to cook at the middle. I don't know whether you can see this one. So yeah, I think you've got the idea. So now at this point, what we're going to do, there's no more water. It's a bit dry. So now we're going to add in our spices. I'm starting with the salt. That's the tablespoon of salt. We'll put aside. I hope it's gonna be enough, but again we'll taste. Pilau masala goes in. It's a tablespoon. For half a kg, a tablespoon is pretty okay. But then, like I said, if you're using my brand, which is pretty awesome, make sure you use 3/4 of a tablespoon. So let's mix this. And then now let the potatoes soak in the flavor of pilau masala. There. This is already smelling really, really nice. So I need to add my tomato paste. This does is, apart from just the color that it enhances, you also get a very good flavor from the tomato paste. So let's mix that. So we kind of waste the ingredients and nothing is sticking at the bottom. But then at this point, we are now ready to add in our water. Now after that, we're going to add in our measured water. These are 4 cups because the rice is 2 cups. And by the way, I'm very pretty. Make sure you always add cold water, not boiling water, not warm water, cold water. What that does is when you add in cold water, it helps the potatoes cook perfectly. And this is how. By the time the water is getting heated up, the water is coming to a boil, your potatoes are already slowly cooking inside. So by the time you're adding in the rice and it's boiling 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes into the water, your potatoes are already now cooked. So remember that. So here's the thing, before you add in your rice, you might want to taste this, because if there's no salt, if it doesn't taste like it has salt in it, no magic is going to happen once you put in the rice. So you're going to end up with pilau that is not salted enough, and there's nothing worse than food that doesn't have salt. So we are going to taste this. Here now, this is what you need to know. If the salt is slightly, more than what should be at this point, then that is great, because once you add in the rice, it's gonna balance. But if the salt is just right at this point, then it's going to be a little bit under when you put in the rice. So try to make sure it's just slightly above what you call okay amount of salt. Okay, so this is slightly over. But then again, I told you it's a tablespoon. You might want to try that. If you don't like that much salt, you can do slightly less. So I'm going to add in my rice. I've already washed it twice. So add in the rice. As you're cooking this, since you're cooking it covered, feel free to chungulia, now and then, just to make sure it's not burning, just to see how it's cooking. But because we're doing it on medium-low heat, say 5-6 minutes, and then you chungulia. So that's what I'm doing right now. Let's peep and see what's going on in there. See, it's cooking beautifully. At this point, you don't want to stir, but I just want to check. See how much water is left. So there's still a lot of water. At this point, there's no need to stir. So I'm going to cover this and let it continue cooking for the next maybe 3-4 minutes. And within that time, I'll be making the kachumbari to serve with the pilau. And I'll see you in about 3 minutes. Since you cannot see any water when you stir like this, then you know it's time to stir your pilau. And here's another trick. When you're stirring pilau, don't just do like you're cooking ugali. You need to do it from the side, almost bottom, and then lift like what I'm doing now. Go to the side, you lift like this. Go to the other side, and then you lift like that. So at no point are we stirring from the center. We're just moving from outwards, going in, outwards, going in. So let's see if our rice is fully cooked, and this is how we see. So you can take some rice, and then you can either taste, which I can tell is fully cooked, or in case you don't want to taste, you can just take and then pinch like this, like this. So if it breaks easily, then you know it's cooked. Because if you try breaking and cook rice, it can't. So you just take a little bit and then break like this. From the resistance you get when you're trying to break it, then you can know if you need to add some water, if you need to cover it more, if you need to lower the heat and let it continue cooking. But then if it's this easy to break, when it's fully cooked, we don't even need to, all that shenanigans of putting maca on top and all that. So, and again, see the color? I hope you can see this color. You do not have to cover it with foil and all that. It comes as a, what do I call it? A plan to, if you didn't cook well. If you didn't cook well, those things that you do to salvage a situation, that's what you do. Number one, you can lower the heat from the bottom so it doesn't burn. You just put it on top because the heat goes up and the only heat that is going down is so minimal you can't burn the rice, but then it helps it continue cooking. Or alternatively, at this point, if it's almost cooked, that point where it's almost cooked but it's not fully cooked, then you can just put this pilau aside and cover it and serve it maybe after 20 minutes from now, because that warmth in the sphere helps it continue cooking. But mine is well done, completely cooked. I can serve it immediately, no need for anything more. So here we are. Tell me how you see that pilau. Was it hard? I don't think so. So let's switch off the heat. Put it aside. Let it cool just a little bit. You don't want. Oh, one more thing. We can test and see if the potatoes are well cooked. Here's one potato. Hope you can see it clearly. And I'm trying to push them in. See? Very well cooked. Easy to break, but then it's not breaking on its own because now that tells you it's overcooked. We can try another one. Here's another one. Fully. You can see it. Just the way I put it. But then if I slightly put the muko through, it breaks easily. And you can see, fantastic. Very well cooked. I hope you enjoyed the process. I hope it wasn't hard as you thought. Guys, this is my final product. This is the pilau we were cooking right here. I hope it looks like something you'd want to try at home. Kindly try the recipe as I've shared it, and then also share your recipe. I'd like to know how it turned out for you. And if you liked it, kindly grab copies of my recipe books. I have 3. I have Mama Jikoni recipe book 1, recipe book 2, and recipe book 3. They're all pretty affordable, so be sure to call the number on the screen if you need more help knowing how to buy the books. I also sell pilau masala and other spices, so if you also need more information on that, kindly call that number. Special thanks to Pneumatics for giving me a lot of support, and all of you guys for watching this, for making it happen. If you like it, kindly share what else you'd like me to cook for you, and in the process we can hang out on Pishi Zone. So I'm signing out, but I'll be back with another video.